What's up, guys? It's your girl Bex, and welcome back to the race rundown post Las Vegas Grand Prix. Now, from the off, there are only 2 episodes left after this of the race rundown for the 2024 season. Boo! I know. However, despite there being 2 races left, we have a world champion, everybody. Max Verstappen clinched his 4th consecutive world F1 championship despite finishing 5th this past weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, from a McLaren perspective, I was disappointed we didn't have the pace, and that obviously meant that Lando lost out on his championship. However, I think all of us realistic people out there knew that Lando wasn't going to clinch the title this year. However, you know, there was a little bit of hope. Congratulations to Max. Congratulations to Redbull on their world championship. I would also like to say a quick congrats to Mercedes this past weekend. I know, right? Bex congratulating Mercedes. What? Anyway, Mercedes absolutely dominated this past weekend, with George Russell leading a dominant 1-2 finish from Mercedes, with Lewis taking 2nd place. Could this be the resurgence of Mercedes for the remainder of this season and into the next? If it is, could this spell trouble for our friend Lewis, who is obviously making the move to Ferrari at the end of this season? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do we think that Mercedes is back? Do we think that we could see them back to their winning ways next year with their driver combination? Even though the World Championship was in fact decided this weekend, one thing that we do have, and by we I mean us papaya family out here, we are still maintaining the lead in the Constructors' Championship. But for how much longer? Ferrari and Red Bull are both close competitors as the season head towards its final rounds in the next couple weeks. A triple header, if you will. A triple header of fantabulousness when it comes to the constructors. Can we hold on to it? I blinking hope so. However, I'm really not sure. One thing that we did manage to hold on to this past weekend, though, is, of course, the fastest lap. Lando Norris recorded the fastest lap of the race, showing strong pace despite missing out on the win this time round. Gutting. Absolutely gutting. However, points are points, and we will take it. Do I think that Lando could potentially win a championship next year if they keep up to their winning ways? Yes, I do. However, I think there is a lot of growing that needs to be done from our boy Lando over the course of the break. Before pre-season testing for next year, I think he needs to really look at his performance this season, look at some of the mistakes that he's been making, because some of them were very silly, and just go from there, really. As this is a triple header, we are keeping these episodes short and sweet. I want to say from the off that we have a very, very special guest pair that you have met previously joining me for the last race of the season. So I shall have them on the mic if they wish to be, as always. And the final thing that I want to talk about from the race weekend, as I said, we're keeping it short and sweet, was the fact that the nighttime dazzle of the city lights from Vegas, coupled with the high-speed action and the city's entertainment-centric atmosphere, seems to have made this one of the fan favourites for the calendar. I'm still undecided, and I know that's rich coming from me because I was there about a month ago. However, it is one of those things where I love Vegas, don't get me wrong, having been there twice now in my 27 years of life. I love it there. And I think that for one of the biggest sports in the world, it makes sense. In terms of the actual track itself, how slippery it is, the dazzling lights, everything, I think that there is a risk for it to be too overwhelming. But the good part about it is we saw the prices come down. We saw it run smoothly this time. I think there was a lot of focus last year on it going wrong and how much money was spent rather than the actual race itself. And I think that now, this year, we saw it run smoothly. You know, everything was prepared. You're always going to have some teething problems right at the beginning. However, we saw those dissipate this year and the race went off without a hitch. So props to everyone that organised it. Props to everyone that got involved. An outstanding race weekend. So, keeping it short and sweet for the recap of the Nevada weekend, I want to go over some recent F1 news as well, as we always do with the race rundown. So, as we know, Max secured his 4th consecutive World Championship this season. I didn't not see it coming, okay? However, Horner has praised Verstappen for having the best and hardest championship, placing him among the all-time greats of the sport. Personally, I don't think that this was a very hard championship. I think he had to battle a lot more in 2021, and we all know how that ended up. Personally, I think, taking off my McLaren fan hat here, I don't think, especially at the beginning of the season, don't get me wrong, there wasn't a lot of competition when it came to Max. It was just win, 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 right? So he managed to rack them points up, which is why he's won with 2 races left. However, I don't think... Oh, this is going to upset some people, so bear with Papaya family, okay? I don't think that Lando is up to Max's caliber yet. Oh, I know. I think that Lando has some silly mistakes still that need to be ironed out. And I think that comes with time and practice, and more to the point, patience. And I think that with a little bit of practice over the course of the break, it should be fine. We should see Lando to win in ways very, very soon. I hope. So, another bit of F1 news is the Diversity and Inclusion Initiative. So all 10 F1 teams, the FIA and Formula One have signed a new diversity and inclusion charter. This commitment aims to foster greater representation and equality across all levels of the sport. This is what we love to see. This is what we love to see. The sport that we all love so much, with so many female fans, having inclusion and diversity. There's still a long way to go. This is a good place to start. However, we'll have to see where that ends up. In other news, driver market updates. Yuki Tsunoda remains with AlphaTauri for 2025 after extending his contract. Speculation is also building about Franco Colapinto's future, as the Williams rookie is reportedly in talks with rival teams for a potential seat next year. Interesting developments. Other driver market updates. Red Bull's driver conundrum. Now, sorry all you Checo fans out there. This is the last point for this super short race rundown episode. Checo Perez, under pressure following inconsistent performances, with the team reportedly exploring options for a stronger secondary driver. Oof. Obviously, he's signed his contract till the end of 2025, I believe. It could be 2026. Let me know in the comments. This is going to sound like I'm just hating on Checo. I'm not. I think he's a great driver. However, I think when you put him alongside Max, he just is not strong enough, unfortunately. And I personally think that his time in F1 is unfortunately up. I said this about Danny Rick, and obviously we have seen the sun set on his career as a Formula One driver. For the time being, he could be back, you never know. We have seen this speculation for a while now. Do I think that it could potentially continue till the end of the season? Yes, I do. I think that I don't know. I want to have faith that he will continue to do what he does so well and race for Red Bull into the coming future. However, he's just not doing it. You know, he's not pulling his weight right now. And if they did decide to get rid of him, would it be much of a loss? I'm sorry, but it's true. Would he be much of a loss? Probably not. And on that note, when I've probably just upset every single Checo fan in the house, I do apologise. We have a race this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. It is race week once again. And we are heading to Qatar. Yay! The Qatar Grand Prix weekend is a sprint weekend. Practice 1 and sprint qualifying taking place on the Friday, with the sprint taking place on the Saturday along with qualifying, and the race taking place on Sunday at 4 p.m. What a beginning to December, ladies and gentlemen. And then obviously we have the final race of the season, boo, in just 9 days in Abu Dhabi, where I have my very special guests joining me for the 1 o'clock race on the 8th of December. So until next week, ladies and gentlemen, following on from the Grand Prix weekend in Qatar, I've been your girl Bex, this has been the Race Rundown, and I'll see you next time. Peace!